Welcome to Fantasy Audiobook, Black Four-Leaf Clover, from Check-In. Chapter 11. Nuo Owl looked anxious, and said anxiously with red eyes, "Yes, can you give me 10 copper coins? I haven't eaten all day." 10 copper coins. O'Neill's face darkened, and he snorted coldly. "You bastard, what did I tell you just now? O'Neill, it seems that you haven't reached a consensus yet. Why don't you give this girl 10 copper coins? After all, it's only 1/10 of her original salary, and it's not a big problem for you." The old man frowned involuntarily, and subconsciously glanced at Nuo Owl. "Old man Dong, you fart for me, this kind of waste that can't even use magic, unless you warm my bed, and this uncle is considering giving her a full meal, otherwise I will go away." O'Neill roared, raised his head, the hand slapped Nuo Owl. The violent scene made everyone feel unexpected. Nuo Owl looked at the rapidly enlarged slap in his pupils, and subconsciously closed his eyes. She clearly knew that if this blow came to a solid conclusion, what was waiting for her might be a straight blow. Ice shape magic. Ice spring. Boom. The cold wind rolled back, making people feel inexplicably biting. Snow-white ice crystals, like a fountain, splashed out on the ground, blooming like a flower. Freeze O'Neill directly in it. The violent scene caused the huge tavern to be silent at first, and then there was the sound of gasping for air. Is he crazy, and he shot in the adventurer's tavern? He is not afraid. Will the magic knight stationed in the tavern make a move? It's really ruthless to freeze O'Neill as soon as he makes a move. He won't be afraid that O'Neill will stare at him. The huge tavern was in an uproar. Outwo, who was standing behind the ice crystal, could not help but turn pale when he saw this scene. Can't wait to follow the doorway where the magic power surges. When he saw Kuroba's thin figure, he was about to get violent, but was interrupted by the old man at the bar. "This guest, you are very unfamiliar. Are you from another place? I don't know what's going on." Having said that, the old man looked at the frozen O'Neill and said, "However, young man, you are really ruthless. Cruel." The magic book in Kuroba's hand suddenly closed, and he said with a warm smile, "This is just a world where the weak prey on the strong, and he just bullied and attacked my partner. Also, I'm going to take on the steel mission to fight against monsters." While speaking, Kuroba threw out the identity card made of special minerals hanging around his waist with his backhand. Looking at the dark sign that fell on the bar counter like a hammer, the pupils of everyone present suddenly shrank. Yes, it's a stainless steel adventurer. This is a powerhouse above black iron and bronze. That's the existence that can enter the Magic Knight team. No, it should be said that this is possible, and it is also an outstanding existence in the Magic Knight team. The exclamation sounded again. This stainless steel seal was obtained after Kuroba killed the chain man in exchange for a reward. Although the man in chains was kicked out of the Magic Knights, his strength lies here. When the head of the organization knew that Kuroba had just obtained the magic book, he beheaded the man in chains, and directly gave him the stainless steel seal and a bag of valuable gold coins. It turned out to be the stainless steel adventurers, but you just said that they attacked your partner. The old man was also secretly surprised. It can be said that Kuroba is now going to accept the fine steel task. It is one of the few highest level tasks in the tavern during this period. Of course, above fine steel, there is also platinum, but those high-level missions have always been intercepted by members of the Magic Knights. "My partner?" Kuroba asked back, looking at the stunned Noelle and said, "That's her." "Me." Nuo Owl was taken aback for a moment, his face full of confusion and disbelief. It can be said that in the eyes of outsiders, a person who can't even cast magic is worse than a waste. Now Kuroba not only saves her, but also includes her in the team. What is this picture? Thinking of this, Nuo Owl said anxiously, Are you going to do that kind of thing to me? I won't give in." "That kind of thing." Kuroba rolled his eyes, walked past Nuo Owl, pressed on the frozen O'Neill, and said with a warm smile, "In addition to drawing pictures of your embroidered vases, I also have a legitimate excuse to kill people. He told me to get the hell out of here just now." The small voice seemed to be infused with magic sound at this moment. Before everyone could react, Kuroba suddenly clenched the 5 fingers of his right hand. Boom! The dull impact echoed. The next moment, spider web-like cracks quickly spread across the ice. O'Neill and his party, who were originally frozen, shattered and opened like glass. Boom. Ice crystal fragments flew all over the sky, and the ice corpses scattered on the ground were even more shocking to see. The degree of freezing, but even the blood is also coagulated, even the internal organs and stomach are no exception. Seeing this violent scene, many adventurers who were still drinking and eating meat retched directly. What's more, the pupils shrank and his face was full of shock. It never occurred to him that the young man in front of him hated him so much that he would kill him at the slightest disagreement. The huge tavern fell into an inexplicable dead silence. Looking at the thin young man in front of him, no one would have thought that he would kill someone at such a young age without blinking an eye. Ding dong. Congratulations to the host for successfully signing in and getting the magic precision potion. Magic precision potion. Kuroba frowned, and felt that there were 2 more black potion bottles in the backpack. After browsing for a while, he couldn't help showing a playful smile, and said, "Is the task handover over?" The old man at the bar came back to his senses, glanced at Kuroba meaningfully, and said, "Please wait a moment. Miss, take out your grade stamp and use it." "Mine." Nuo Al was taken aback. However, Kuroba quickly glanced at him and said, "Hurry up, I'm still hungry." Feeling the warning in his eyes, Nuo Al was startled, and quickly handed over the grade stamp. During this process, the people present did not even dare to speak out. It wasn't until the old man at the bar exchanged the grade seal of the handover task back in his hand that he secretly breathed a sigh of relief. "Both of you, the task has been handed over, and the remuneration for O'Neill's team just now has been deposited into your account," the old man at the bar said. "However, as the task handover person, I still need to explain in advance. This task is to resist the sudden impact of monsters for the villages adjacent to the mountains in the east. Since you are taking the task of fine steel, please rush to Dongshan village tomorrow morning." Tomorrow. Nuo Al's expression changed. The distance from here to Dongshan village is tens of miles at least, and the road along the way is rugged, and I am afraid that it is impossible to catch up with a horse-drawn carriage. As for the magic broom, Enoch Al's magic power controls it, but it can't be done. "Do you have a magic broom?" Kuroba glanced at Nuo Al. Nuo Al nodded subconsciously and said, "Didn't you?" For a magister, the magic broom is the basic standard equipment. "I'm poor, no," Kuroba replied. In an instant, the people in the tavern were petrified. The majestic stainless steel adventurer actually called poor. So what are they? "Beggar. I have a broom that I used in the past, but it is much more difficult to control than ordinary brooms. At least it needs the power of Sanju to control it, but the speed will be faster." The old man looked at the ceiling, covered with dust. A long-standing broom. The power of the 3 bamboos. That means that the accuracy of the magic control is to levitate the 3 magic bamboos at the same time. A knowledgeable adventurer couldn't help but say, "What is the power of 3 bamboos?" Kuroba touched the tip of his nose and said suddenly. The scene suddenly became silent again. Looking at this ruthless young man, the behavior he had just glimpsed just now is similar to the understanding of a vulture now. Totally out of place. Nuo Al was also dumbfounded, and couldn't help explaining in a low voice, "The power of 3 bamboos is one of the assessments for joining the Magic Knights. The magic bamboo can affect the magic power, and through the precise transmission of magic power, it can stand upright. The more magic bamboos erected, the stronger the accuracy of magic control. At the same time, it also represents the dexterity of being able to control the magic broom. After all, magic brooms with different production methods and uses require different magic output and accuracy." Sensing the skeptical gazes around him, Kuroba made up his mind that he should catch up on some common sense about magic when he has time. Otherwise, Kong has magical powers and cannot keep up with knowledge. "Then you are just like a nouveau riche. Old man, you have a magic broom with the power of 3 bamboos. It seems that you have a lot of background." Kuroba looked at the old man at the bar. This magic broom is like the difference between the sports car in Kuroba's previous life and the grocery shopping cart. This 3 bamboo magic broom, to say the least, can be regarded as a civilian sports car. Hearing this, the old man at the bar showed a hint of arrogance and reminiscence on his withered bark-like cheeks. "This broom, but the reward I got when I failed to compete for the deputy head, I think it stayed with me for a long time." Quote. "However, if you think you can't control it, there are some abandoned magic brooms hanging on the wall over there." Those unlucky ghosts originally left them for sale, but unfortunately they never came back. The old man thinks you are very pleasing to the eye. If you like it, it will be considered as a gift from the old man. Looking at the old man who suddenly became so proud, the adventurers present also regretted it. If I had known that this old man had withdrawn from the Magic Knights, I would have established a good relationship earlier. After all, there will be a lot of equipment withdrawn from the Magic Knight team. For other people, these second-hand goods may not care. But for adventurers like them, it is a treasure. Those magic brooms. Kuroba followed his gaze and looked at dozens of magic brooms hanging on the wall. However, compared with the sports car broom of Sanjujili, it is obviously more shabby. What's more, Kuroba knows that the accuracy of his magic control is good, but he has never tested it. Now may be a good opportunity. Thinking of this, Kuroba looked at the old man at the bar and said, "Old man, I want to try it first." "Try it?" The old man at the bar couldn't help being startled, and immediately said, "That's right, facing the magic broom with the power of 3 bamboos, the temptation is quite strong. You should try it first, and if it doesn't work, you can choose those." In the huge tavern, he stared at Kuroba. They were eager to know to what extent the magic power control of the kid who could instantly wipe out O'Neill's team could be achieved. "Brother, why don't we take a gamble? I bet this kid can't reach the power of 3 bamboos." An adventurer couldn't help lowering his voice and said. Although at this juncture, saying such things may cause trouble. However, for this group of adventurers who live at the bottom and put their heads on their trousers, alcohol and gambling can numb the depressed nerves. I bet this kid can get 2 bamboos. No, look at the strength of his magic power just now. In the Magic Knights team, he is at least a small elite. I bet Sanju. The sound of betting analysis sounded one after another. Nuo Al, who was standing beside Kuroba, couldn't help touching Kuroba's arm, and said in a low voice, "You better not try. My big brother said that Sanju is the threshold for joining the Magic Knights, just in case." "What if? I plan to try them all." Kuroba smiled warmly, and in full view of everyone, he reached out and rubbed Nuo Al's stiff body. She is an expelled royal family, but her figure is still there. When was someone so frivolous in public? It's just that when she came back to her senses, she puffed up her cheeks and was about to condemn her. The aura of the young man in front of him suddenly changed. His lazy gaze suddenly became as sharp as a falcon. In the next moment, before everyone could react, the violent magic impact directly detonated with Kuroba as the center. Boom, like a gust of wind blowing back, washing the entire tavern. Like countless tentacles, it quickly extended to the surroundings, and even the magic broom with the power of 3 bamboos on the ceiling. The moment he touched the broom, Kuroba felt his own consciousness, and quickly overlapped with the magic broom. There is an extra feeling in my heart, like a commanding feeling with my hands and feet. Before everyone woke up, the magic broom hanging on the wall moved. 1, 2, 3, 4. Dozens of brooms stand up like Optimus Prime, telling people what is the hard truth. When the last magic broom was erected, the Sanju magic broom on the ceiling, which was said to be extremely difficult, was also suddenly affected. When a hazy white light bloomed in the void, it pierced through the sky and appeared in front of Kuroba. Dozens of other magic brooms lined up behind them. Watching for a moment, Kuroba is in control of dozens of magic brooms, suspended in midair. The wine glasses held in many people's hands fell to the ground in response. In the scene in front of him, riding a horse is like seeing a ghost. Many people are fortunate that they didn't get ahead because of O'Neill's incident just now. Otherwise, I'm afraid it will be similar to the pile of ice slag on the ground now. This has surpassed 10 bamboos full strength, the level of upper third-class magic power control. You kid is a genius. The old man at the bar said with a face full of shock. Little girl, it seems that you have followed a good person. I wish you a pleasant journey. Why did you follow a good person? Nuo Al came back to his senses and gave the old man a look. However, if she was afraid of Kuroba just now, so now I am more in awe. It is possible to achieve this level, but it is difficult even for her 2 big brothers. Thank you for the broom. Kuroba pulled Nuo Al into his arms, and under the magic vortex under his feet, he stepped on Sanju's magic broom. Accompanied by the surge in magic power output, before Nuo Al could react, his whole body shot out like a sharp arrow. The storm that rolled up made the dumbfounded melon-eating crowd suddenly woke up. Hee, this kid is really good. The old man gave a dry laugh and shook his head helplessly, looking at the scattered ice crystals on the ground. Soon, there was a sound of hurried footsteps. 3 men and a woman wearing white shawls walked in quickly. Looking at the filthy tavern scattered on the ground, the man in the lead frowned, and the 2 behind him were disgusted. Is this where Nuo Al came from? It fits her identity very well, but it also lowers the figure of our royal family. This is a shame. The woman standing behind covered her nose in disgust. In the eyes of their royal family, the place where such subordinates gather is the place where their status is insulted. If they hadn't heard the news when they were out just now, and at the same time there was a surge of magic power here, the 3 of them would not have rushed here. No, it should be said that as the sister-in-law, Nozel, the leader of Silver-Winged Vulture, would not come here. And following behind him are the other 2 children of the Silpha royal family. Solid Sil Method and Nabra Sil Method. It's just that compared with Nuo Al's life, the figure and posture of the 2 of them are obviously taller. What's more, it was the 2 of them who expelled Noel from the family castle. Brother Wong, this kind of place is really dirty, and only trash like Nuo Al comes here, let's hurry up. Nabra said disgustedly. However, Nozel soon drew indifferent eyes and said, shut up. Did there be a fight here just now? There is still a 3rd-class magic fluctuation. Which leader, or deputy leader, has been here? Nozel looked at the old man at the bar, frowned quickly, and said, Master Magic Emperor, why are you hiding here? Magic Emperor, that girl just now is from the royal family. The big tavern was silent for a while, and then there was the sound of gasping for air. Magic Emperor, that is the most powerful existence in the entire 4-leaf clover kingdom. Now he turned into an old man, appearing in this kind of tavern where dragons and snakes mixed together. If Nozel didn't say it, they probably didn't know. Moreover, the girl who was ridiculed by them as a waste just now turned out to be a majestic royal family. That is a capital offense. The old man at the bar touched the tip of his nose helplessly, and immediately a golden light burst out from his body, revealing the real body of the Magic Emperor. He gave Nozel a blank look, and said, you can't see through it like that kid. By the way, Nuo Al, he just abducted him to go on a mission. That kid has a 3rd-class magic power and magic control level. He will be a good seed in the future. You can't mess around. The 3rd level of magic power and control level. The people present couldn't help being stunned. Even Solid and Nabra were taken aback. That means, having the strength to become the deputy head. However, compared with Solid and Nabra, Nozel's emphasis is obviously different, and his face darkened. You mean, Nozel laughed with the man. As soon as these words came out, there was silence in the field. This is deafness, and I still want to be crooked. Just now Magic Emperor, but said personally, a mission. Ahem, Nozel, I think that kid is pretty good, and he is also very good at controlling magic power. Just now, he controlled dozens of magic brooms at once. The Magic Emperor coughed dryly, and said, maybe, he can make Nozel take control of the magic. Dozens of magic brooms. Solid and Nabra looked at the dozens of magic brooms scattered in the tavern with startled faces. I thought it was a fight that caused the tavern to be in chaos. However, it never occurred to me that it was all because someone could control dozens of magic brooms at the same time. If it wasn't for what the Magic Emperor himself said, they would never have believed all of this. HMPH, how much is Nozel's magic talent? I will still know, she has no fighting talent at all. That kid took Nuo Al to the battlefield, he was planning to kill her. Nozel's face darkened, and he said in a cold voice, Nuo Al is a waste, and has lost the face of our Silva royal family, but it is not something that a mere servant can approach. Abandoning these words, Nozel suddenly turned and left under the watchful eyes of everyone. If Kuroba was present and saw this scene, he would definitely give the Magic Emperor a meal. Who doesn't provoke this horse? Help him to offend the big brother who is the sister-in-law. Brother Wong, wait for us. Nano Al is the same. He is obviously a waste, and he can't even control the magic. Why can't he just stay at home obediently and insist on running out to cause trouble? Don't you think that our Silva royal family has not lost face because of her? Dissatisfied words from Solid and Nabra came one after another. Seeing the 3 of Nozel walking away quickly, the Magic Emperor touched the tip of his nose helplessly and looked at the messy tavern. Originally, I have been hiding my identity in this small shop, reflecting all kinds of life. I never thought that after such a disturbance, there will be no chance in the future, and I will fool around here. 1. Master Magic Emperor, why are you running to the tavern again? A burst of space-time fluctuations appeared suddenly, and soon Marx with a mushroom head appeared in the void. Hey, Marx, you can find me like this. What's the rush? The Magic Emperor waved his hand casually, showing no remorse at all for his sneaking out. Master Magic Emperor, sooner or later I will be pissed off by you. The little insurance you bought for me is not enough to pay me at all, Marx said angrily. However, he quickly changed the subject and said, information about the Diamond Kingdom has been sent. They seem to be selecting new students. I hope you will come back to deal with it as soon as possible. Diamond Kingdom. The Magic Emperor's expression changed slightly, and he quickly made a magic soundproof around him, and said, Diamond Kingdom has something to do. The Diamond Kingdom, a border nation bordering the four-leaf clover kingdom, has always had conflicts. What's more, what Diamond Kingdom respects is the experiment of transforming people by magic, and the folk customs of the country advocate fighting in war. Now there is a sudden movement, which is definitely not a good thing. Thinking of this, Magic Emperor had a headache. A day later, it was located in a small town in the mountains east of the capital. An awe-inspiring sound of piercing through the air quickly passed by at low altitude, and after choosing the right direction, it descended behind a line of defense. The people who were originally stationed here were also alarmed. With a slight change in his expression, he hurried over. Almost everyone has a magic book, but judging from their attire, they are obviously not members of the Magic Knights. At best, they are not much different from those adventurers in strength, and they can be regarded as a kind of militia stationed in Dongshan Town. Who are you? A small militia leader in armor walked up quickly. When he saw the magic broom under Kuroba's feet, his pupils suddenly contracted. This is the Sanju magic broom. I don't know why this lord came to this remote place. In any country, magic equipment is limited. Ordinary people can join the Magic Knight team, and it is not bad to get an ordinary magic broom. Otherwise, even adventurers would have to spend several months of rewards to buy it with their own accumulated money. Not to mention, Sanju magic broom, this kind of priceless sports car for civilians. I'm just a refugee, so I don't need to be so cautious. Kuroba glanced back, and as soon as he got on the magic broom, he hugged Nuo-Al, who had fallen asleep, and handed over the stainless steel seal. Here is my identity information. Are you a stainless steel adventurer? The little leader of the militia looked at Kuroba with shock on his face. In his eyes, Kuroba is only 15 or 16 years old, perhaps a nobleman with a high status, who owns the 3 bamboo magic broom. It never occurred to Kuroba, as a refugee, to become a steel adventurer. After all, this means that at the age of 15 or 16, he has the ability to become a member of the Magic Knights. Especially as a low-level citizen who is also at the bottom, he looks at Kuroba with such high achievements and talents as a refugee. Brother, wait a moment, I don't have permission to check, I'll report to you first. The little leader of the militia said hastily. However, I'm afraid you didn't come at the right time this time. Just now, 2 nobles who seemed to be of high status came to Dongshan Town. The magic tower here is old and is being received, so you need to wait a while. Looking at the attitude of the little leader of the militia who has changed all of a sudden, he almost looks like a brother. Kuroba couldn't help but lament that strength is still very important before there is no status. No, Kuroba only had one thought after seeing No-Al who was hugging him and suddenly tired to sleep. Strength is very important. The strength in this world is like the earth in the previous life, the big money of red flowers. No money and no heart to talk face to face. I'll wait here for 1 or 2. You have worked hard on the garrison. This is a small amount of money. I will go to a small bar after the mission. Kuroba flipped his hand, took out a few silver coins, and threw them over. This violent scene made the militiamen present startled for a moment, and then beamed with joy. Especially the militia uncle. He patted Kuroba on the shoulder and said excitedly, "Brother, I will thank you for these useless people first. You are the only ones who treat us civilians as human beings. The nobles have already coaxed us out. Your little daughter-in-law is really beautiful. By the way, there is a resting room over there." Let's take a rest with your little daughter-in-law. Of course, we buddies are all experienced. The big battle is imminent. If there is any movement coming out of it, buddies will never hear it. Having said that, a group of wretched men suddenly winked. Kuroba rolled his eyes helplessly, and didn't bother to explain, and said, "Thank you, then I'll go there first." "Brother, come on, if it doesn't work, I still have some medicine at home, which is very useful." The militia uncle became visibly excited. Looking at the group of wretched men, Kuroba's scalp also felt numb, and he quickly drove the magic broom under his feet to fly to a room not far away. Ding dang, the random sign in task is activated. Please go to the Warcraft cave to sign in the host. After successful sign-in, you will receive rich rewards from the system. The system's ethereal prompt echoed in Kuroba's mind. Rich rewards. Hearing this, Kuroba couldn't help being startled. Although there are often missions, this is the first time he has heard that the system has set priorities for him. Rich rewards. But it means that the rewards for signing in this time are definitely not pediatrics. However, as soon as his mind warmed up, Kuroba soon realized that he had no idea where the monster's cave was at all. Looking at the vast mountains in the distance, with no end in sight, I almost smiled wryly and shouted folk songs. He is a magic broom with the power of 3 bamboos, but looking for it like this is simply looking for a needle in a haystack. Never, the flag is planted in the cave of Warcraft, telling you, I am here. Kuroba felt a little headache when he thought of the missing monster cave. However, before he came back to his senses, Nuo Al, who was still hugging him tightly, woke up suddenly. What place is this? Why did you bring me to the room? I'm called molester. Nuo Al cried out anxiously. According to the usual rhythm, a group of wretched big guys have already rushed over with their hands. It's not for the hero to save the beauty, but it can also be a good time for the people who eat melons. It's just that money can turn ghosts around, and after accepting Kuroba's drinking money, the group of militiamen obviously took all this as fun. Seeing Nuo Al startled, Kuroba rolled his eyes helplessly and said, "My lady of the royal family, you hugged me and slept all the way, and the traces of saliva half wet my clothes. The person who called molestation should be me." What? Nuo Al couldn't help being dumbfounded, recalling the scene that happened in the tavern not long ago. He let go of his hand in a hurry, blushing and said, I didn't mean it. Miss Ben is willing to hug you to sleep, then you have picked it up great deal." Looking at Nuo Al, who suddenly possessed the arrogant attribute, Kuroba directly reached out and flicked her on the forehead, and said, "Then, I took advantage of you. It just so happens that I'm sleepy too, so we'll sleep here overnight." Feeling a pain in his forehead, and Kuroba embracing him, Nuo Al covered his forehead and stepped back quickly. But just a few steps away, the thing hidden in the sleeve thumped and fell to the ground. Magic ring. Kuroba couldn't help raising his eyebrows. Looking at the ring inlaid with water element gems, he seemed a little surprised. This is a high-grade magic ring. Enoch Al was rejected by Solid and Nabra and expelled from the royal castle. In addition to giving out some pocket money for life guarantee every month, this kind of magic equipment cannot be bought. What's more, her sister-controlled elder brother Nozel doesn't want to see Nozel, who is similar to her mother, use magic equipment to enhance the ability to control magic power, so as to participate in the battle. It's right to be afraid of losing because of it. However, thinking about the adventurer's tavern, Kuroba frowned and said, "Is this magic ring the reason why you, a dignified lady of the royal family, were bullied when you went to accept the mission?" Seeing the ring rolled on the ground, Nuo Al's expression changed. He hurriedly picked it up, glanced left and right carefully and said, "This is a magic ring, which can help increase the accuracy of magic power control. It's a second-level magical equipment, worth 30 gold coins. 3 months later, there will be an assessment for the Magic Knights. I want to participate and enter the Magic Knights to impress everyone." Speaking of this, Nuo Al tightened his grip on the ring in his hand, with a trace of stubbornness on his pretty face, and said, "However, don't think that if you saved me, I will repay you. No, I will have the money to repay you after I join the Magic Knights. Now I'm a little hungry. And how do you know that I'm from the royal family? What if you killed someone in the tavern? Why don't I go back and intercede with my brother?" Seeing Nuo Al, who suddenly became like a million wise, Kuroba rolled his eyes helplessly, and casually took out 2 biscuits from the cloth bag, and stuffed them into Nuo Al's hands. I only have this. If you have a stomach, as a royal family, you can fill your stomach first. The task of resisting monsters according to the time will start soon. Also, it seems that 2 nobles have come to Dongshan town, and they will be of use to you later. Seeing that he didn't wait, Kuroba finished speaking, then picked up the biscuits and started devouring Nuo Al. Kuroba didn't know how much she had suffered for the magic ring in her hand. However, according to the description in the original book, Nuo Al inherited her mother's magic power attribute, and a first-class magic power that is as powerful as the leader. It is precisely because Nuo Al awakened a powerful magical power from birth, and his own control methods were immature, and at the same time, he had not undergone systematic training. In the end, under the rejection of his brothers and sisters, the road became more and more sideways. In the end, the magic power completely became a runaway horse. How about using a hemp rope to pull a monster? This stepping on a horse is nonsense. Right now Nuo Al is raising money and getting a magic ring to enhance his ability to control his magic power. But for the huge magical power lurking in her body, it is simply a drop in the bucket. By the way, I successfully signed in the tavern, and I seem to have received a reward. Kuroba suddenly remembered the task of signing in the tavern. With a thought, I opened the property page for the first time. Host: Kuroba. Magic level: 0 domain. Magic control level: Extreme control. Spellbook level: Clover spellbook. Type of magic: Ice modeling magic primary. The magic power level can be increased by increasing the level of the magic book. Pets: no. Gymnastics: none. Ability: none. Items: 2 bottles of high magic control potion. Looking at the almost whiteboard-like attribute panel, Kuroba finally turned to the last column, and saw the potion lying quietly in the storage space. Looking at this so-called high-level magic power control potion and the instructions on it, Kuroba's eyes lit up involuntarily. This time it can be said that Nuo Al's spring has come. Roar. A deafening roar sounded suddenly. A huge wave of magic power surged from outside. The violent scene instantly tensed Kuroba's nerves. He didn't expect that he would come to the door when he encountered trouble as soon as he arrived. Although the task has not been handed over yet, but the fine steel task was taken by him after all, so Kuroba decided to go out and have a look first. It's just that, compared with Kuroba, Noel rushed out faster. As soon as he walked out of the door, a gust of fishy wind rushed towards his face. 7 or 8 monsters with 5 or 6 meters in length, like a lion or a tiger, with wings on their backs, or rushing towards them. The sound of the rampant pace gave people a feeling of beating drums like landslides and ground cracks at this moment. Standing on the 3-meter-high wooden city wall, the militiamen turned pale. When did they ever think that they would face so many monsters at once? At 1 hour and 3/4, he missed the best time to form a defense line. The only thing he could do was to watch helplessly as the attacking monsters rushed towards them. Nuo Al, who witnessed this scene, didn't have time to think about it, and quickly summoned his own magic book, and shouted coquettishly, "Water creates magic, water snake." Endless water elements quickly gathered in the hands. However, before it could condense and take shape, it turned into a water column and turned and went straight to the militiamen on the city wall. In one face-to-face encounter, they were directly rushed out. Seeing this scene, Kuroba touched the tip of his nose helplessly. He had already expected that Nuo Al could not control the magic power, but he didn't expect that he would go berserk. It's like a runaway wild horse, the kind that will turn halfway. Boom! 5 monsters stabbed headlong on the wooden city wall, and the huge impact directly shattered the city wall. However, the only thing that makes people feel lucky is that the water created magic just now, which rushed these militiamen away and escaped the attack of monsters. It still failed. Nuo Al looked at the magic ring in his hand, and couldn't help showing a hint of disappointment. The moment she cast the spell just now, the magic ring enhanced her ability to control magic. However, for her huge magical power, it is simply a drop in the bucket. It feels like a mayfly shaking a tree. In the end, even the magic power couldn't be condensed into shape, so it failed again. Roar! The roar of the monster exploded again like thunder. Nuo Al's expression changed, and he woke up suddenly, seeing a group of monsters rushing towards the militiamen who escaped the attack. Immediately, he couldn't hold his breath, and said anxiously, You You hurry up and save them. Save them. Kuroba frowned and said with a smile. No need, someone is here. Someone. Nuo Owl couldn't help being startled, and before she could recover, a violent shout sounded suddenly. Plant creation magic forest of thorns. Bang bang bang. One after another thorns turned out on the ground, entwined towards the 5 monsters like poisonous snakes. The speed is so fast, it seems that they have already ambushed here and waited for an opportunity to move. Caught off guard, the 5 monsters were tied up like rice dumplings. The next moment, accompanied by a whining sound, the 5 monster-like monsters finally hit the ground heavily and lost their movement. It's Master Magic Knight, we've been rescued. The militiaman who crawled out of the water couldn't help but exclaimed. Soon, I saw a man stepping on a magic broom, descending from the sky, and landed on the ground with a proud face. Is this a member of the Coral Peacock group? Kuroba couldn't help raising his eyebrows. In his memory, many of the 9 magic knights were noble groups. Coral Peacock group is one of them. Although there are many levels of nobles, they are still superior to ordinary people. And the man in front of him, if Kuroba remembers correctly, should be a 3rd-class nobleman, Roland, who uses plant magic. He is a senior old man. HMPH, the servants are the servants. A group of 7th-level monsters were scared to the ground. Hurry up and clean up and repair the city walls. We will leave later. Roland snorted mercilessly. The militiamen, who were still full of gratitude for what they had to say, reacted one after another and quickly dispersed. Witnessing this scene, when Roland looked satisfied, he subconsciously looked at Kuroba and Nuo Owl, and said, Are you the steel adventurer that the guy mentioned just now, who received the crusade mission? A body like yours can be crushed with one hand. I advise you to waste your time by coming here. Go wherever you come from. You are not qualified yet. You should be thankful that our deputy head made a surprise visit and regarded this as a trial mission. Not qualified. Nuo Owl was taken aback for a moment. She might still pretend to be cowardly when she owed favors or made mistakes. But now being humiliated face to face by an inferior nobleman, Nuo Owl couldn't swallow his breath. However, before she could react, Kuroba, who was standing behind her, walked out slowly. Hey, you refugee, do you have any objections to this nobleman's words? I'm doing it for your own good. Roland's expression darkened, and he said, You should be glad that our deputy head took the initiative and let you take the task and enjoy the benefits. In Roland's eyes, this kind of thing is a godsend for adventurers. However, as soon as this idea was born, the first thing that caught my eye was Kuroba's warm smile. Yes, however, I'm sorry, I like my own thing and do it myself. Kuroba took a step forward, and the magic power dormant in his body exploded like a frenzy. The air wave that was set off had an inexplicable crushing smell. Feeling the sudden aura and the tremendous oppressive force, Roland's expression changed drastically in an instant. He stared round, his face full of disbelief. Most importantly, Roland fell to his knees on the ground unconsciously as if he was drowning under the pressure of this huge magic power. Accompanied by Kuroba, he approached slowly. This huge oppressive feeling is steadily rising. This magic power. Feeling the changes in the atmosphere in the field, not to mention Roland, even Nuo Owl's expression changed dramatically. She was in the tavern, a means of seeing Kuroba glimpsed before. But it never occurred to me that with all my strength, I could reach this level. This feeling, she only felt it from Brother Wong, who is a silver-winged vulture. However, what made Nuo Owl envious most was seeing that Kuroba was the same age as her, and was able to awaken such a huge magical power at a young age. At the same time, you can also take it all in and out freely. This simply overturned her cognition. Of course, all this is just what Nuo Owl thinks in his mind. Before she came back to her senses, the huge magical power that was crushed and scattered in an instant, like a tide, collapsed between the heaven and the earth. Roland, who was crushed by the magic power, seemed to be rescued from drowning. With his hands propped on the ground, he gasped for breath. The whole person was dripping with sweat. Who? What's the matter, my honorable nobleman? I don't know if you think I have enough qualifications to perform my task. Kuroba said with a warm smile. Or, we still need to make gestures to see who even more powerful. He looked serious, as if he had just done something insignificant. No, I was wrong, I will lead you the way now, meet our deputy head. Roland turned pale and shook his head quickly. What kind of bullshit aristocrats, at this moment, is completely unimportant. After all, under the pressure of absolute strength, he has no confidence that he can leave alive under Kuroba. Based on the difference in magic power just now, Roland believed that the strength of magic power of the refugees in front of him would definitely be comparable to that of their deputy head. In his understanding of refugees, this is simply unscientific. No need, your deputy head is here. Kuroba looked up and followed the place where the crackling sound came from. The release of the magic power just now seems to be a glimpse, but it can definitely alarm the so-called deputy head in Roland's mouth. However, Kuroba did not expect that it was the second nanny in the original book who intercepted his steal mission. Mimosa Vermilion. In the original book, Golden Dawn was selected through selection, and he has the title of aristocratic genius more than Noelle, who is half a bucket of water. One of the 3 royal families of the 4-leaf Clover Kingdom, a member of the Vermilion family. Also Noelle's cousin. Cousin Nuo Al, why are you in this kind of place? Mimosa, who arrived with a magic broom, saw the scene in front of her clearly. After being startled for a while, she immediately shouted with joy. Nuo Al was deliberately ostracized in the family, but he had a very good relationship with Mimosa since childhood. From time to time, he secretly watched Nuo Al, who practiced hard to control the magic power, so that he also became assiduous in the practice of magic power. Single quote. It is for this reason that Mimosa often helps Nuo Al, who is excluded. However, because Mimosa not only has huge magic power, but also can control it perfectly. She also has the halo of nanny attributes, which leads to her high popularity among the royal family. If you have to make a comparison, then Mimosa and Nuo Al are the same. Otherwise, in the original book, Mimosa has no chance to enter the first Golden Dawn. Neither will Nor Al, who will enter the bottom of the Black Bull group. However, before Nuo Al became happy, Mimosa's poisonous tongue function was turned on again. Cousin Nozel, your magic power control has never been able to pass, you come to such a dangerous place, Cousin Nozel, do they know? Using your magic power to control, I'm afraid you will get hurt, but don't worry, with me here, I will promise Cousin Al to heal the injury. Looking at Mimosa, who gave Nuo Al a fatal blow as soon as she opened her mouth, Kuroba touched the tip of her nose helplessly and looked at the broad chest. He finally understands what it means to be too big and brainless. This is completely the legendary silly white sweet. Oh, my cousin Noah, as beautiful as ever, this beauty is as good as mine. An extremely narcissistic voice suddenly sounded. As Mimosa's big brother and Coral Peacock's deputy head, Sir Sho lifted the bangs on his forehead viciously. Showing his shining front teeth, he showed a perfect smile and said, Dear cousin Nuo Al, did the huge wave of magic power just now come from you? Sure enough, as the royal family, we are all too good. I firmly believe that you will be able to control the magic power well. Like Mimosa, you will reach the level of the upper class. Seeing Chersho, who was trembling constantly as soon as he appeared on the stage, Nuo Al was petrified all of a sudden. Facing my cousin, who is also an aristocrat, I can't say, I met a monster just now, and cast a magic that can turn around, right? Deputy Leader Zersho, is she the leader of the Silver-Winged Vulture, the sister of Lord Nozel? Roland stammered. After all, just now he clamored to clean up the 2 trash. Now not only kicked the iron plate of Kuroba, but also kicked a royal titanium alloy plate. Yes, this is my beautiful Noelle with long silver hair, which is as beautiful as my blonde hair. Zersho kept picking up the bangs on his forehead. However, Noelle, you will worry about running to the border like this. Although you can already control the magic power, it's just dangerous. By the way, I want to tell Nozel the good news, and he will allow you to participate in the Magic Knight's assessment just like Mimosa. While talking, Chersho took out a magic communicator with his backhand. Cousin Zersho, please don't tell me, Brother Wong. Nuo Al hurriedly stopped. Actually, I haven't mastered the magic power yet. The one who caused a huge shock of magic power just now, is my friend. By the way, what's your name? Seeing Nuo Al, who added this sentence at the end, Kuroba rolled his eyes helplessly and said, It's really thanks to me that I saved you. My name is Kuroba, and I'm a refugee. A refugee. Chairsho was taken aback, even Mimosa who was standing beside him was no exception. This subverted their usual understanding of magic physique. In their eyes, the royal family has a higher magical potential than the nobles, and the nobles beat the common people. Then, only those who have no magical powers will be called refugees. Now suddenly a young man with at least the second-level magic strength appeared, claiming to be a refugee, which subverted their cognition. Brother Wong, don't stare at other people. Mimosa was the first to react, blushing and said, "Thank you for saving Nuo Al, who doesn't know how to control magic power. I am Mimosa, and this is my brother Kie Build. Mimosha, can you stop talking about the words that you don't know how to control magic power?" "Aw, cousin Nuo Al, what did I say wrong? Yes. I'm sorry. I just hope you can control the magic power as soon as possible." "You said it again." The scene suddenly fell into chaos. Looking at the silly, white and sweet mistress as in the original book, Kuroba touched the tip of his nose helplessly and found something more important. Originally, Kuroba wondered how to find the new check-in task, which was located in the so-called Warcraft Cave. The appearance of Mimosa, as the auxiliary nanny in the original book, she is proficient in magic flower signposts, as well as auxiliary means such as dream healing flower cages. But brush the standard configuration in the picture. Black. Kuroba, Chairsho stammered. For him, this name was obviously not beautiful enough. However, the moment he met Kuroba's gaze, Chairsho still couldn't forget to flick his bangs, and said, "I also thank you for saving Nuo Al. It seems that you are the stainless steel adventurer that the militia captain told me just now. It's just that I want to tell you that Nuo Al is a beautiful royal family. It's not beautiful for you to bring Nuo Al, who doesn't know how to control magic power, to perform the task of fine steel." Speaking of this, Chairsho said with a trace of seriousness on his face, "I hope you can give up this mission and stay here with Nuo Al. After all, she doesn't know how to control magic power." Looking at the sentence on the left and the sentence on the right, they talked about the control of magic power, and they almost became the two of Chairsho who rapped. Nuo Al really felt that his wound was being covered and dug up, and the cover was dug up and sprinkled with some salt. If it weren't for the strength issue, I'm afraid he would have gone berserk already. According to Kuroba, this horse is the black-bellied duo. "No, I will take this task, I must complete it, do my own thing, this is my motto." Kuroba patted Nuo Al on the head in shock. Under the dumbfounded expressions of everyone, he said, "What's more, I believe that Nuo Al will be able to completely control the magic power after drinking my special god-level potion, and then kill the quartet, and then return triumphantly, enjoying the cheers of a genius treatment." Seeing the four of them petrified all of a sudden, Kuroba was even more satisfied with his extravagant persuasion. After all, this is related to the success of his signing. There are also rich rewards that are systematically focused. Kuroba, stop joking. Pharmacists are very rare. In the four-leaf clover kingdom, there is only one who can be ranked. Lying is not beautiful. Chairsho picked his bangs and said. Also, Nuo Al has taken it when I was a child, and it doesn't have much effect. Unless you drink it as water, it should be able to improve. Forget it, Kuroba, you don't need to comfort me. Nuo Al also had a trace of loneliness on his face. A bottle of magic potion needs hundreds of thousands of gold coins, which is still the lowest level. If you drink it as water, I am afraid that the entire Silpha royal family will go bankrupt, and it will not be possible for Noel to drink it to the end. What's more, refining magic potions is a den of gold, and Kuroba, as a refugee, simply cannot bear this kind of money consumption. Try it before we talk, or there may be surprises. Kuroba touched the backpack with his backhand, and his mind has been linked to the system space. Immediately, there was a bottle of advanced magic control potion in his hand. According to the interpretation of the system, it is second only to the existence of god-level potions. At least, Kuroba believes that the products produced by the system must be high-quality products. Although it looks dark and does not even have a fancy bottle, Kuroba firmly believes that this product has inner beauty. Is this really drinkable? It's not beautiful at all. Chairsho frowned slightly. Nuo Al was also a little skeptical, but seeing Kuroba's serious face, he could only bite the bullet. Puff. The medicine was uncorked in response, and an unusual fragrance wafted out, permeating the air. Smell good. Mimosa's body trembled involuntarily, and the magic power dormant in her body overflowed without warning. The next moment, it exploded even more. The violent scene made Chi Airsho's beautiful face suddenly look unbeautiful. Unfortunately, before he could react, the dormant magic power in his body also became restless. However, he is the deputy head of Coral Peacock after all, and his experience is not comparable to that of Mimosa. The moment the magic power surged in his body, he quickly suppressed it. Seeing this weird scene, Roland in the distance was also shocked. It was the first time for him to see such a distressed look on the deputy head who talked about beauty. However, all this is just the beginning. Regarding the changes in Mimosa and Kirsch, Nuo Al, who closed his eyes and raised his head to pour the potion, obviously didn't know anything about it. Grunt. The bitter potion was directly swallowed by Nuo Al, and soon formed a warm current, rushing towards the limbs. The next moment, before she could react, the magic power that was originally like a wild horse quickly came into contact with her. That kind of feeling is as easy as a thought, commanding brothers and feet. However, this idea just sprouted in my mind. A slight air vibration sounded suddenly. I saw Nuo Al wearing a magic book on his waist that was almost dusty, emitting a large blue light. The next moment, the magic book flew out under the eyes of everyone. Before everyone could react, the magic book quickly flew away. Waves of light blue light surged out. This is the unlocking of the magic book. It can only happen when the attribute magic power matches the magic book. Chersho looked stunned, and forgot to even lift his hair, muttering, "This is too much. It's too beautiful." 1, 2, 3. Looking at the magic book that was gradually opened, the pages of the magic book lit up one by one, the people present knew it clearly. This is the harbinger of unlocking the magic possessed by the spellbook. Looking at it for a while, Nuo Al, who directly unlocked the 3 major magics, was like taking a stimulant. As long as the people present are not fools, they can also know that this is Nuo Al, who is like a butterfly breaking out of a cocoon, crazily unlocking his posture. Being able to reach this step is definitely related to the magic potion that Kuroba gave just now. This means that the potion presented by Kuroba is far more advanced than the alchemist of the 4-leaf clover kingdom. It is not an exaggeration to describe Nuo Al's ability to awaken 3 magic spells in one go. Thinking of how he was still questioning the effectiveness of the potion just now, Chersho covered half of his cheek and said distressedly, "Oh, my god, I was really not beautiful just now." Now, selflessly helping Nuo Al and sending Kuroba, who sent priceless potions, "You were really beautiful, and Nuo Al is too beautiful." Seeing Chi Airshow, who was suddenly a nympho, Kuroba directly ignored it, and at the same time, he was also surprised by this magic control potion. In his cognition, Nuo Al has a total of 4 magic. Among them are Sea Dragon's Roar, Sea Dragon's Nest, and Sea Dragon's Cradle. Now I have almost unlocked all the postures at once, only the Yuya armor of the sea goddess Valkyrie is left. Perhaps a higher level of god-level magic potion may be able to achieve the legendary posture of opening up Ren Du's second vein. Thanks for watching, please like and subscribe.